Welcome back to Bad Things in History, where we'd like to know what sparked your interest in history in the comments. Our series examining the worst events in each state continues. This time, thanks to a viewer request, we turn our attention to Delaware. It was the first state to join the United States. It is also the second smallest state in the Union. But its contribution to human misery exceeds expectations. Let's begin with a story about how the state refused to acknowledge the end of slavery. Ratification of 13th Amendment. When the Civil War began in 1861, several slave-holding states decided to reject the Confederacy and remain part of the Union. Delaware was among them. Most of the residents of Delaware who fought in the war joined the Union cause, but when the conflict finally ended, support for slavery remained. Abraham Lincoln first tried to eliminate slavery in Delaware in 1861. He proposed using federal funds to compensate slave owners if they would free the people held in bondage. The state legislature refused, saying, "When the people of Delaware desire to abolish slavery within her borders, they will do so in their own way, having due regard to strict equity." In 1865, the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution was enacted by Congress. It eliminated slavery throughout the entire country and ensured that black residents would be free. But the amendment still had to be ratified by the states. Delaware, along with several other states, refused to acknowledge it. State politicians at the time claimed that it was an illegal extension of federal power. Despite the refusal to accept the end of slavery, the 13th Amendment became law. Slavery was abolished throughout the country, including the state of Delaware. Finally, after 36 years, the Delaware state legislature chose to ratify the amendment in 1901. Delmar Fires. The town of Delmar was established in October 1859. It came into existence because of its proximity to the railroad. Running through the town were railroad tracks from Maryland that connected to Delaware's rail system. Most of the buildings in Delmar were made of wood. Unfortunately, this would help ensure that much of the town was destroyed, not just once, but twice. In 1892, one of the buildings erupted into flames. As the fire consumed the roof, embers began flying everywhere. A strong wind soon arrived, which blew the burning materials onto nearby buildings. Soon there were 87 structures on fire. The local fire department responded almost immediately. However, the town of Delmar did not have a water supply. It also wasn't located near any streams or rivers. The firefighters tried to extinguish the flames, but there was little they could do. The night after the fire, the people of Delmar had problems feeding themselves. When the buildings burned, most of the hogs and chickens were also destroyed. Nearby towns had to send food to help the residents. Over the next several years, the town was rebuilt, and again, wood was used to construct most of the buildings. Less than a decade later, disaster found the residents again. In 1901, another fire erupted and consumed much of the town. In response to the second fire, new buildings were constructed using brick, and a new water system was created to help fight fires in the future. The McDonald's explosion. Today, there are over 36,000 McDonald's restaurants spread over more than 100 countries. But in 1960, there were only 228 of them. Les Ducart was just 12 years old that year. One evening, his father went to get food for the family, and he stopped at a McDonald's. He liked the restaurant and decided to purchase one of his own. On March 15, 1960, Les Ducart's family opened the first McDonald's in Delaware. It was built on Main Street in the city of Newark. It became a very popular location. The Ducart family's McDonald's was consistently among the top-performing restaurants in the United States. Les tried to become a teacher, but by his late 20s, the allure of flipping hamburgers was too tempting to ignore. So in July 1973, Les decided to go into the family business and began working with his father. Although it was a profitable and popular business, there was an unexpected interruption in service. On the morning of December 1st, 1976, the Newark McDonald's opened and began serving breakfast to customers. Unfortunately, there was a gas leak in the kitchen. An oven pilot light triggered an explosion. The building was severely damaged. Nobody died, but 23 people were injured. Les Ducart and his family had to rebuild the McDonald's in Newark. The new building started serving customers in 1977. It continued feeding hungry patrons until June 2014. It was demolished so that a more modern McDonald's could be erected in its place. Amoco plant explosion. In the early 1960s, a chemical plant opened near the town of Dobbinsville. It produced plastics which were used in food containers, packaging, and various other products. The plastic products were also very flammable. There was a maintenance team which inspected and fixed valves within the factory. Someone made a mistake and serviced one of them incorrectly. This simple oversight would have deadly consequences. On October 21, 1980, gas began leaking from the faulty valve. A spark from nowhere caused it to explode suddenly and violently. 100 square yards at the center of the plant were turned into a pile of debris. Fires continued to burn throughout the area, and small explosions happened randomly without warning. Some of the explosions broke windows 6 miles away. It took firefighters 11 hours to get the blaze under control. 6 employees were killed in the event. 27 more were injured. Chemicals from the smoke settled in the nearby marshlands. In some places, the pollution was 5 feet deep. It remained there for decades. The Route 40 Killer. The state of Delaware has only had one known serial killer, but he was just as ruthless as any of his peers. Stephen Bryan Pennell was born in Wilmington, Delaware on November 22, 1957. He graduated high school in 1976, then spent a year in college studying criminology. Next, Stephen tried to finally realize his lifelong dream of becoming a police officer, but he failed the physical test. He became an electrician in 1987. Stephen was also a married man with 2 children. The family lived together in Glasgow, Delaware, not far from Route 40. He was also unable to keep a job for very long before being fired. Additionally, Stephen kept running up the credit card bills. When his wife challenged his behavior, he broke her arm. Soon he would start driving up and down Route 40 in a blue van looking for victims. On the night of November 29, 1987, it began raining. A couple driving through an industrial park thought they saw a mannequin. It was the body of Shirley Ellis. Shirley was a former sex worker who became a nurse. But on this night, she had been abducted. The kidnapper tortured her with tools before finally killing her with a blow to the head. On June 28, 1988, construction workers found the body of Catherine A. DeMauro. She was also a former sex worker. Catherine had been killed by strangulation and blows to the head. Her body was also covered in blue fibers. Stephen struck again just 2 months later. Margaret Lynn Finner disappeared on August 22, 1988. Her body was found in a canal 3 months after the disappearance. Her corpse was so badly decomposed that the cause of death could not be determined. Police were determined to catch the Route 40 killer, so they asked undercover police officer Renee Tashner if she would walk up and down the road offering herself as bait. Renee agreed. On September 14, 1988, a blue van stopped and asked her if she needed a ride. Renee chose not to get in the vehicle, but she saw a blue carpet in the van and ripped several fibers from it. While police continued investigating, Stephen Pennell killed 2 more women. A search warrant was finally executed on November 28th, and authorities started looking at Stephen's home and the van. Police found a torture kit in the van, in addition to fingerprints from the victims. Stephen was arrested and taken to prison where he awaited trial. A jury convicted him of murdering 3 victims, although he actually killed 5 women. On October 31st, 1991, Stephen was sentenced to death. On March 14, 1992, he was executed by lethal injection. If you want to learn more about the experience of dying in this manner, you might enjoy a previous episode we made called Execution by Lethal Injection. Toddler Fight Club. Hands of Our Future Daycare was a childcare business located in Dover, Delaware. The parents who took their children there each day expected the highest level of care. Instead, the toddlers were incentivized to fight each other. In August 2012, a video was recorded in the daycare which showed a troubling sight. Deanna Harris, Lisa Parker, and Estefania Myers were the workers tasked with caring for children that day, but as the video showed, they were trying to get two 3-year-olds to fight each other. In the video, a child could be heard crying, claiming that he is being pinched. One of the daycare workers responded by saying, "Only punching is allowed." Then the crying child was pushed back into the fight. The 3 daycare workers were arrested on August 20th, 2012. They were each charged with assault, endangering the welfare of a child, reckless endangerment, and conspiracy. Additionally, several parents of the affected children sued the women. The Hands of Our Future Daycare lost its business license after the arrest. The license was reinstated on October 5th, 2012, after it was determined that the owners knew nothing about the Toddler Fight Club. Delaware clearly has a long and troubled history. Slavery, fires, explosions, murder, and child abuse are just a few of the terrible things that have happened in the state. What do you think about the state of Delaware? Did we miss anything important? Please let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode, then please help us out. Press the like button for this episode and any others on our channel that interest you. And please be aware that if you want to financially support our channel, there are ways to do that. Please look in the video description for more information. Thank you for watching Bad Things in History.